tonight we're going to be, they're waiting on me.
You say what now?
He is, So, tonight we're going to have to talk about this George Floyd case. We've got to do this. Because too much has been happening in Minneapolis. We got to discuss it, people. So, first of all, we're going to talk about the officer involved. We all are familiar with him. We're not even really going to get into we're not going to get into the assault of it all because we already know that he's guilty. We've all seen it. We can say allegedly murdered this man, but the fact of the matter is that he killed him. So we're going to be discussing that. First of all, I want to talk about the fact that this is an officer with multiple assault and battery charges, multiple instances where he was, an active member of the police force, where he was part of previous shootings and previous assaults. And so, my question to the people out there and to the Minneapolis police force directly is that why is it that this man and other people are allowed to police the public at large, whom they're supposed to be keeping safe, who are they supposed to be watching over, when they themselves are criminals, which is the fact of the matter. When someone commits a crime, they are, in America, there's the attitude of guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty. But in the case, when it comes to things like this, these cops are given the benefit of the doubt. They're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to. But are they really? No. And that's the simple truth of the matter. When you talk about the disparities between how policing affects marginalized people.
If you see his face in that picture, no remorse.
Yeah, no remorse whatsoever. He doesn't look like he is upset by the fact that he murdered someone. He looks upset by the fact that he got caught for murdering someone, and that's the difference. And as far as these other officers go, we could talk about the fact that, say for instance, I murder someone. I assault someone. I do something against the law. If you're standing there right next to me and someone films this and you're standing right next to me while I do this, when that case goes to court, you are going to be seen as an accessory to the crime I committed. So why are we acting as though these other cops, regardless of the uniform that they were wearing, aren't accessories to this murder, which is what it is? And the fact that they haven't been taken in, they haven't been charged, and they haven't been reprimanded in the ways that he has, firing these officers is not enough. Firing someone for murder, if I went into my job right now and killed someone, I'm not going to just get fired. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just hard to think about, feel so much for this man and his family and what they're going through as far as being the victims of this crime. So, of course, we want to say that, our thoughts and feelings go out to them. But at the same time, there also needs to be action taken against these officers, taken against the problems systemically with what policing is in America.
Sorry, Car, they never, it's rare, it ain't, I'm not saying all officers of any type of law enforcement, no matter the position, but like the abusing your authority and using the excessive force, and whoever said, it was cool to use excessive force, especially for a person who harmless. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all, you got officers that do the most on a traffic stop. That do the most on.
Right, and that's another one of those situations. This is a man being stopped for a nonviolent crime. So at what point was this amount of force necessary? That's the real question, And the answer is that there wasn't. There was no reason or excuse for that amount of force to be used in this situation. Not at all. And that's another thing.
Not at all.
The inexcusability of what happened is another reason why it shouldn't just be breezed over. I see a lot of people the past couple of days, online talking about the rioting and the looting going on in the city. Well, there's a lot of people arguing, well, how is looting and rioting helping? Well, it's been said many times before, but let's say it again. Looting and rioting, is the direct result of you murdering that man. And that is what they seem to forget. These officers killed this man in cold blood and did it in front of the public. So to expect the public to not have a reaction to it is ridiculous.
Got your knees all in the man is crying out. You know what I'm saying? Why did it take 4 or 5 officers? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got y'all knees all in his neck. You know what I'm saying? All in his back. Trampling on him like you heard. Hey, but go ahead, Cara.
Right, and then we have the problem of it goes further than just public outrage and a problem with that particular police department. It's a problem with the militarization of the police across America. And let me say this flat out, that not every cop is a bad cop. I wouldn't judge someone based on their profession. I would judge them on the person that they are. Now, having said that, at the same time, that people, are being affected on different levels. And it comes back to the fact that there's no repercussions towards these officers, at least not in the degree that you need to, but it stems from the fact that look at our president right now, in Trump. This fool will get on Twitter and talk mad shit about Black people and people of color and minorities, and he does it in this sly way where he's referring to.
Wasn't he the one who said to use excessive force, that it was cool? Isn't he the one who made it cool?
Exactly. He is out here making it a point to publicly say that excessive force is okay or that it's necessary in these situations. That's ridiculous.
And
so I have a quote from Trump himself as well.
You really fear for your life, but every time you're not fear for your life, you automatically have your hand on your gun. For non-violent crimes, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be crazy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just be, you just wanna use your gun, you just wanna shoot somebody, have a reason to shoot somebody, and you on paper as good, and your opinion versus my opinion.
And it comes back to the fact that because you're wearing that uniform, somehow what you say holds more weight or more merit than the truth at times. And that's the scary part about being a Black or brown person in this country, is that when you walk outside your door, you have to be concerned with that the people who are meant to be serving and protecting you and your community are coming in and executing you and members of your community. And again, it comes back to, how all these people are saying, oh, well, it maybe if he didn't commit a crime, these officers wouldn't have been involved in his life. This wouldn't have happened. However, this is, again, a nonviolent offense. This is not a man who was out in the streets, committing crimes or actively harming another person. You showed up on him due to reports of a nonviolent issue, and you immediately decided that excessive force was necessary. Immediately, with no sort of prompting. This situation escalated from nothing into a national crisis. And the problem with that is that it all stems back to this is nothing new. And that's the thing. We've seen so many cases of police attacking and murdering people over the past few years that it's not even new. And that's the other scary thing about it, is that it's something that is so prevalent that it's becoming
it's been going on.
Nature. It's in the news daily.
Yeah. Around the world, that's a world pandemic in itself. The numbers is outrageous. How much police brutality. It was just in certain areas. Now you catching it everywhere. And just in those certain areas, that's always talked about.
That's the other thing.
Now
that people don't. So, right here, I have some quotes from President Trump, brought forward by the ACLU, of course. Now, he posts these things to Twitter and to all sorts of public forums. So, obviously, some of the listeners might have heard that, but I wanted to pull up a few particular ones that kind of just emphasize what I mean when I say that this is a problem that leads all the way from the presidency to the policing of this country. So, in this case in particular, as far as it goes with George Floyd, he's consistently demonstrated disregard for the violence that the police are showing. And it's not just this particular case. He's shown disregard, incompetence, and over-militarization of the police throughout the country for years now, several years. People tend to forget that this man has been in office since 2016, and you still to this day see people blaming Obama for issues that have gone on since his presidency had started. And, we have to remember that not only has he been in this presidency for quite some time at this point, but that he directly affects public opinion on how these things go. His supporters and his constituents, when they hear him say that black men are thugs, that the black community is a terror, then they automatically have the mindset that the black community is not worth their time or their energy to protect, to serve, or to listen to. And Trump particularly, before his presidency, we can go back and see, active moments of his character and how he feels about the black community, and how, at the end of the day, regardless of what he says or what his constituents say or how people feel, he is a racist. We have a racist in the White House, and this racist is going around spreading that kind of attitude to the general public, and then that is making them feel like it's okay for them to go into the street and to disrespect or disregard the people around them who are not white or are not affluent. And, it's very tiresome as an everyday citizen to go out into the world knowing that you are not being backed by the police force, and that that you are being looked at as not only a criminal for simply existing, but also being looked at as someone who isn't worthy of being given the benefit of the doubt, which is the case when it comes to, crimes involving black and brown people. There are officers who have shot someone in a case and it's been ruled accidental, and because that cop was brown or that cop was black, they went away for murder nearly immediately with no fanfare. But because this cop is white, he is being given the benefit of the doubt all the way to the point that he wasn't immediately arrested. He was given time to go home and to go back to his